From Kochi, we fly southwest to the island nation of Mauritius, about 700 miles east of Madagascar. It's late afternoon when we arrive, and we have no activities planned. So we have an opportunity to explore the beautiful Four Seasons Mauritius. I think we can make do with this. In the morning, we're off to explore the island. Our guide tells us that we should not expect to see the most famous Mauritian, the dodo, except on the local beer, since the last one was killed in 1681. Sugarcane was introduced to Mauritius by the Dutch in 1638, but it was under the French starting in 1715 that sugar became the basis of a prosperous economy thanks to the import of slaves from Africa and Madagascar. The British defeated the French at the Battle of Grand Port in 1810 and took control of the island. The abolition of slavery in 1835 impacted the economy, society, and the population. Between 1834 and 1921, 500,000 indentured laborers from India were brought to the island. Today, sugarcane is grown on 90% of the arable land and accounts for 25% of the export earnings and 8% of the labor. The services sector, especially tourism, account for 72% of the GDP. Tea was introduced by the French in 1765, and production increased under British rule. Bois Chéri is the oldest tea plantation. Today they produce about half of the island's tea. The leaves are picked by hand or machine and brought to the factory, where it's weighed and put on a conveyor to start the process of becoming tea. The next step is crushing the leaves. Crushing breaks down the cellular structure to allow oxidation. The crushed leaves turn from green to brown as they oxidize. This step is what determines the taste and aroma of tea. The damp tea leaves are rolled into strips. The rolling action extracts essential oils to further enhance the tea's flavor. The final step before packaging is drying. The tea leaves are baked. This produces more flavor compounds in the tea. Then on to some ingenious machines that package the tea into the tea bags and adds the strength. Next, another machine puts the outside wrapper on the tea bag. The tea bags then go into small boxes. Then the small boxes go into large boxes to ship. To taste the product, we head to the Bois Chéri restaurant and tasting room, which is surrounded by tea plants. There are also some friendly Java deer, introduced from Indonesia by the British for hunting. Finally, we enjoy a nice cup of tea and some biscuits in the British tradition. Not far from the tea plantation is a crater lake, Ganga Talano. We're surprised to find 108-foot tall statues of the Hindu gods Shiva and Durga by the lake. Thanks to the British import of laborers from India, today 48% of Mauritians are Hindu. This lake is the most sacred Hindu place in Mauritius and the site of an annual pilgrimage when the faithful walk barefoot from their homes to this place. Our next stop is Black River Gorges National Park, one of 3 national parks and the oldest and most visited. Mauritius has no endemic terrestrial mammals, but a number of animals have been introduced accidentally or intentionally, like this long-tailed macaque and the Java deer that we saw at the tea plantation. Tenrec were brought from Madagascar as a food source for slaves. The Black River Gorges National Park protects most of the island's remaining rainforest. Now from the spiritual to the spirits, we're visiting the Chamarel Rummery, or rum factory. It's not the right time of year to watch the sugarcane being processed. The equipment is torn down for maintenance. But we get the idea of the process that ferments the sugarcane juice in these tanks. and then distills it in this pot still. Now we're ready to taste some rum. That seemed to stimulate our appetite for a sumptuous late lunch at the Rummery restaurant, followed by a stroll through the gardens, and then back on the bus for our trip back to the hotel. After dinner tonight, we have a special performance by fire dancers. In the morning we sleep in, and then find our way to the hotel's Kotomili herb garden. We find the chef preparing for our cooking class and lunch of Mauritian cuisine. The first course is hearts of palm salad made with fresh palm, not something you'd find in our local grocery stores. Smoked marlin is added to the hearts of palm salad. Chef has our attention as he prepares the main course, a prawn and chicken curry. Rice and roti, a popular flatbread, will accompany the curry. And there it is, as tasty as it is pretty. Later, I head down to the water sports dock for a snorkeling trip. It's great to be out on the water, and it's even better to be under it. We're all smiles as we end the dive with a trip to a beautiful waterfall. The next morning, dancers are here to give us one last taste of their beautiful island. At the airport, the Black Pearl is waiting to take us to discover the next jewel of the Indian Ocean.